Okay, welcome to JCE Connect. Um, this is the first class uh, for the subject of building cost and quality management, which is having the subject code of 20CCT251. Of course, it is an elective subject, uh, the building services and maintenance, as well as the building cost and quality management. Uh, these two are the elective subjects. Um, as the importance of this subject is more as construction technology engineer is concerned. Why? Because as the name itself indicates that uh, it is having mainly two components. First one, first one that is related to the cost. Second one, it is related to the quality. Um, some of the concepts you already studied in your bachelor degree um, about the cost aspects means see what are the things are involved in the first component of or the first part of this building cost. The second part is what about. So when I say it is a cost, so it involves the building cost involves about the estimation. You already did this. You have a quantity surveying and estimation. You already did it. The some of the uh, similar things we are going to repeat in the first module as well as in the second module. We'll discuss in detail about the syllabus, what the things are involved in that. But slightly, what we'll do is that uh, some of the things you already studied in your BA degree. Um, what will concentrate one or two problems, and we'll try to link how this cost is interlinked with the quality aspects. So that will focus more. Of course, we'll take one or two problems. We'll try to estimate uh, the cost of the building as for our the standard SR rates, how it can be done in a practical way, how the government projects are going to happen, and how they are going to estimate, and how they are going to calculate the BOQs, that is bill of quantities. There are all the things we'll discuss in the first part of this, that is building cost. So then the second part is very important rather than the first part because uh, the building cost, of course, um, if they prepared in a Excel like this, you have to, it's like a mechanical method. By seeing the SR rates, prepare the estimate, uh, uh, prepare the dimensions. So like it is like a mechanical, but the real civil engineers is about the second part of the subject. We have to concentrate on the quality management. When I say it is the quality management, always we have to talk about the total quality management. So when I say it is a total quality management, so it involves mainly two components. These always we have to target. So as the definition of the total quality management itself say that it is managing the things up to the customer satisfaction. Customer, this is very important. And with long term success. Long term always we have to link the total quality management. First one, that is always with respect to the customer satisfaction. See, when the customer has to be satisfied, then how the quality of the work has to be executed. There are all the things we have to think it of. When the customer has to be satisfied, on what way and what aspects it has to be satisfied. Most of the time, what will happen is that any projects which are going to happen, so mainly uh, the three important aspects has to be stressed. First one, that is the time, that is cost, then the quality. These are the uh, three major components of total quality management. Always what we have to concern, that is time. When I say it is time, so when the project has to be executed, for example, you take one building which um, has to be started or which has to be executed, then from the planning stage till to the customer satisfaction or to hand over to the customer, how that has to be planned, in what way the planning stage has to be completed. There are many phases will be there, like initial phase and that is execution, then completion stages. Initially, usually it will start at with the planning stages. At what time the planning has to be completed, then at what time the execution part has to be completed, and at what time we have to hand over to the customers. So that all the aspects we have to consider in time. Means anything, because nowadays any projects, these are all time bounded projects. Always anything, it has to be there first, it has to be targeted, it has to be completed within a stipulated time, because as the time going to elapse, the cost of the construction will go on increasing. That is the biggest problem in one of our construction industries. See, for example, assume that if the building you are going to estimate, you are going to plan it for 2 years. Suppose if you are not going to complete within 2 years, assume that if it is going to exceed for 4 years, 4 years, then the 2 years, normally we know that the cost of the materials, the building materials, always we have to concentrate on that part, as well as some of the other aspects also, like if anybody is um, taking the loan and if he is completing the project in due course of time, again there are many challenges that we'll discuss in detail how the things are going to happen when the time aspects is considered. So then this is the first case, time, always we have to concentrate. Then the cost aspects. See, of course, in this subject, building cost, of course, it is. If you go to the in detail syllabus, it is completely related to the building estimation, how the cost of the material will be calculated, how exactly the cost of the materials are going to increase as the time changes. That is there, but the cost related aspects in total quality management means how the cost of the material is interlinked in total quality management. So that we are going to decide in the second part. In the quality management also the cost will come. That also we have to include. So how the cost is going to affect in overall project if you are not going to complete within a stipulated time. So that always we have to target it. Then In India, this quality aspects always we have to stress more on that. Many times, what will happen is that, uh, of course, within time, most of the projects, 90% or you can say it is 80% will complete it with the estimated cost. Always, that is when I say it is the estimated cost. Of course, these two parameters, that is the first parameter of time and the second parameter of cost. Of course, 90% we can say we are going to complete it. But when come to the quality aspects, we can say um, overall the study in India, see we can say up to overall 50%. When it comes to the quality aspects, we are still lagging to maintaining. So that is why this circle, whatever the uh, circle is there, time, cost, and if I say it is a time, then assume that is a cost and quality. If you see that if these are interlinking with each other, then normally what will happen is that this cycle has to be completed. Always can give the direction in this way. Don't give like this, it will be given this way. Only one direction it has to flow. So if you are completing within the stipulated time, then no problem. With the estimated cost, if you are completing, it may not be a problem. But when it comes to the quality issue, if you are um, not completing with the quality works, then ultimately what I said, that is the customer satisfaction and long term success. Long term success and customer satisfaction. These two things will not happen, will not happen unless if you maintain the quality. See, if you are not going to maintain the quality, the customer will ask that why you are not maintained the um, proper quality during the construction. If you are not maintaining the quality, then of course the long term benefits will not be there. For example, if you are constructing any of the apartment, if you say the life of the apartment is around, of course, 50 years. Of course, it's a cement building. Cement has its own life. So ultimately, you can say I'll give 50 years of um, life for the my buildings. Or so when you are recording it, then it is not going to happen. Then second case, if you are going for any uh, water supply network, if you are designing it for, normally it is designed for 30 years. um, so as for the CPHO norms, it has to be designed for CPHO, has to be designed for 30 years. So then if you are not maintaining the quality of the pipe material, for example, if you are not maintaining quality material, so within a month or 2 months, if the pipe is going to burst because of the lot of pressure, then you are not going to satisfy the customer. Then again the repair will come, again the maintenance will come. Nowadays very stringent rules are there in the governments also. What they are doing is that if this is the case is happening, they will keep it some amount that is for maintenance. um, so that at least for 10 years or 15 years that has to be maintained. So in many if bigger projects, if they are going like a lot of highway projects, so normally they will keep some of the security deposits till uh, some extent of 10 years or 15 years. Then only that amount will be given back. So that type of um works are happening, or some of the agreements are happening in the government levels also. So that has to be considered in managing the things. So always keep it in mind that anything you can discuss or anything you can mm, link with the total quality management, then of course it has to be satisfied with the customer level and with a long term success. It is not only the success, very important. Okay, for example, you take this one only, water supply network. Of course, okay, okay, customer is getting a sufficient pressure. Uh, Assume that sufficient pressure at the residual end. Of course, we have to maintain 7 meter for first storage building, first storage building in water supply distribution network as for the CPHU norms. Of course, assume that at when you executed it, assume that you are getting the 7 meter pressure at the residual end. Okay, then fine. Then what about after 10 years? What about after 20 years? Whether is it going to maintain the same thing? That is why always you have to target this word, that is long term. See, success means it is always linked with the long term success. Only don't write it as only success. Now we okay, it is the project is succeeded, or whether okay I got these now I am getting the water. But as whenever you are designing it, it has to be designed for 30 years. Till 30 years it has to come. Then the customer has to be satisfied with long term success. So that is why always keep it in mind that the total quality management is and very important for and civil engineers. Because nowadays um, what is happening is that many people are there to give the building estimates. Many people are there to give the drawings. You see n number of consultants, you will get it. But with a quality works, who will give or who will satisfy the customers, so he will succeed. So always will target anything, will discuss always in terms of the quality works. Always anything will discuss in terms of materials, so we'll discuss in terms of the quality aspects. Anything testing of any of the materials, normal we'll discuss in terms of the quality materials. So overall, managing the project with quality, that has to be um, um, discussed, or that has to be uh, made or preamble in this subject. Okay, then we'll move on to the overall uh, subject. Overall, in the as we already know that in the first semester itself is IA marks. That is, it is evaluated for 40 marks. That is CIE. That is CIE stands for continuous internal evaluation. So that is for the internal IA. And as we already know that three IAs are compulsory. So it has to be evaluated for 40 marks. See, let's see how this we will divide it. So university has left dividing the marks 40. So what we will plan is that, so my plan is that we will conduct it for 40 marks IA. This we will reduce it to 20, then 10 marks, 10 marks for the assignment, then 10 marks uh, we will for keep it for seminars, subject seminars. Let's see how the things will go. This is the tentative arrangements, will do it. This is the tentative arrangements, will do it. So 10 marks assignments or quiz, we can say it is assignments or quiz. Okay, for it is a quiz for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, so that will take in between the IAs. Let's what will happen. So then 10 marks for the seminars. So when keeping this seminar, thing is that you are in postgraduate level, so almost you are at the manager level. So then you should be able to speak, or you should be able to handle some of the projects on your own, or sometimes if any um, seminar, or if you want to give it, how that can be practiced, let it be start uh, from our subject only. So a seminar is for about 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Of course, we'll see that how the things will move, but we will reserve it. Then the SEE marks, that is semester end examination. SEE stands for semester end examination. So normally the ratio will be taken as 60. Here it will be 60, but the question paper will be of 100 marks. The question paper will be of 100 marks. That they are reducing to 60. Even in our first semester, maybe after this month end or next month, July, um, the probable timetable is going to come. That time, the first semester subjects also, it is for 100 marks. Then, of course, the course code is 20CCT251. And if you see the question paper pattern, so normally the question paper will have 10 questions. So each question, it consists of 20 marks. So then that is 10 into 20, it is 200 marks. So it will be like this. The pattern will be of, why I'm telling is that many of you are from autonomous institutes. You may not be knowing how the things will be there. So 1A, 1B like is questions will be there. So then or 2A, 2B it will be there. Then it is for 20 marks. Here also 20 marks. Any one you have to write it, one or two. So like that it will be 3 or 4. Same it will be 5 or 6. Then it will be 7 or 8. Then 9 or 10. Like that it will be there. So any 5 questions you have to attend. You're not supposed to attend like again 1A, 2A, 1A full complete, one full questions you have to attend. That will be considered. Then 2 full questions you have to attend. You're not supposed to attend like 1A. I know I can attend. 2A is there. 2A I can attend. So that should not happen. Then maximum it will be 4 sub questions will be there. You can expect, for example, assume that you have 1A is there, 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. That's the maximum. Sometimes Minimum will not be there. Sometimes one full question will be there, like one for 20 marks. No sub questions. So maximum it will be of 4 sub questions in each of the module. And each module we have 5 modules. In each module you will get 2 questions. So that is they think about the question paper pattern for your final examination. Then um, we will move on to what are the things are there in the syllabus. So in the first module, it is related to the estimation of quantities for RCC, multi-storage complexes, and earthwork. How the earthwork calculations can be done, how the RCC calculations can be done in foundations, how the DPC that can be calculated, that is RCC work, flooring, roofing, plastering, pointing, woodwork, how the quantity estimation, where is it is specifically about the estimation of quantities. Namely, it is estimation of quantities, not the cost. The first module. Of course, we'll try to link. It is only if you see the first module, it is related to the quantities. It is related to the how the quantity can be calculated. For example, um, how the steel quantity can be calculated. What is the unit of steel? How it can be calculated? Is it based on the area? So like that, or how the painting, if you want to paint your buildings, how it can be calculated. Some of the terminologies are like normally we will follow some of the SI systems, but some of the regular uh, like baras and all those things we will use it. That also we'll use wherever it is required. Most of the time we'll use meter, meter cube, or meter per length. So what exactly how that can be calculated? Because this you already did it in your quantity survey and estimation subject in your um, B level, but still anyhow they have kept it. We'll do it, not a problem. So then second module is completely related to the rates. So here when it comes to the rates, uh, for each, for example, paint, what kind of rates we are using it. For building blocks, what rates we are using it. For example, steel, what rates we are using it. So what are the rates are available? Normally we'll follow the PWDSR rates. So then I'll try to share whichever things I have, uh, and in governments, what kind of rates they will apply it. For building construction, all those things will use the PWDSR rates. But when it comes to the um, some of the water supply network, will go for the RWS. They have their separate rate table is there. That also will share it. Now that can be calculated. So that we will study in the second module. If possible, uh, what we'll do is that the first we'll calculate the quantity. Then similarly in the secondary table, we'll put the rate and we'll complete it. Means that um, we are going to complete the first as well as the second module in a parallel way. So let's see how the things will happen. In the first, he is very particular about the quantity estimation. The second is about the rates that we have to target, that is brickwork in foundations, superstructure, cement, concrete, RCC, plastering, flooring, timber work, etc. And especially this always we have to target, that I already said, that the quality aspects. Even during the quantity estimation, the quality aspects will come. How exactly it will come? That also we'll see. You may ask how in the quantity estimation, how the quality can be maintained. Means that all the things are there, will always target it on quality aspects. And various tests on bricks. So what are the tests are there? Cement, concrete aggregates, steel, as per IS codes. This you already studied in your laboratory. The first, of course, we'll discuss that. Hmm? Which are the tests are there? How that can be conducted? For cement, concrete aggregates. That other thing are there in the module 2. And in the module 3, it is completely related to the bills of payment, measurement book, modes of payment, running account bill, ledger, cash book details, and arbitration. See, it is completely related once the project is executed, once after completion of project or during the project's intermediate, sometimes you are going to release the bills. How that can be maintained? What are the systematic protocol is there in preparation of the bills? Um, some of you are already there in the departments. You might be knowing well about this, but still, uh, how the bills of the BOQ, normally we can call it as BOQs, bills of quantities, can be made. How this can be maintained in the government departments? Measurements book will be there. Mode of payment will be there. How exactly the mode of payment can be made? Running of account bills. What are that ledger bills, cash book details? There are all the things. What are the format, exact format for that? That we'll discuss in the third module. In the fourth module, some of the case studies is given, like water supply distribution network, how the um, cost estimation can be done. For example, septic tank, as well as other sewer materials, or the soak pit is one in water supply, or for example, jack well. It is also water supply work. So jack well estimation, how it can be done, how the BOKs can be calculated, how the quantity of each of the material can be calculated. That we are going to discuss in the module 4. So it is some of the case studies we have to take. See, as if you see the syllabus, um, it is very less estimation of building services, namely water supply works, electrification, etc., and their cost analysis. So, etc., I will mention. So, he may ask anything because it is not completely said that we are going to ask this one only. But still, with our best of our knowledge, with the previous um, semester question papers, we'll try to cover some of the very good case studies related, or we'll take the component of the buildings and we'll try to complete it. So then the fifth module is about the valuation. So it is completely related to how the building valuation is going to happen. Uh, Neither it is related to the execution part, neither it is related to a contractor part. So how the building valuation can be, what are the techniques are there, and how the plan can be checked, and how the work can be completed. It is this module fifth is completely uh, related to after completion of the buildings, or after completion of any of the works. For example, one thing I wanted to highlight is that once the project is going to complete, how that can be work can be um, evaluated, and how that work can be inspected by if you take any of the um, building work, for example, um, any government building if you are constructing, or any road work if you are constructing. Um, so one is like TPI is there, third party inspection. It is no way connected with any of the uh, uh, building related persons. It is one called third party inspection, that is going to happen by using the third party, and he is going to check the quality as well as the quantity of any of the works or highway works. So like that, in between also, how that can be executed, how that can be checked, that we are going to discuss in this fifth module. This is almost uh, after completing of the projects. So in overall summary, um, in this subject, we are going to study about the building cost, and we are going to study about the um, cost, that is quantity calculation, cost calculation, then that is BOQs, office work, then some of the case studies or the elements of any of the components, how we are going to do it, and after completion of each of the buildings, how exactly we are um, completing the project with customer satisfaction. Again, I'll say it is after with the quality, long-term success, that I already said there is a long-term success as well as the customer satisfaction. So that has to be completed in the fifth module. How that can be executed, what are the procedure is there, that will study in the fifth module. So then some of the textbooks and reference books are there. Beyond that, you already know, that is very good book. You can use that, estimation and costing. Then Bide is also good. That is also good book. You can refer that too for first and second module. You can refer these two books. Uh, the third, that is Roshan in professional practice. Uh, that you can refer for fifth and the third module. So this you can refer for fifth and third module if you want. Of course, the notes will be shared related to this. But the beyond the and builder, you can use it for the first, second, and the fourth module. They are very good books. This is uh, related to the today's class. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll